The YMCA. There's actually a song out there, the YMCA. Good afternoon, Facebook Live. This is Eunice LaFate, award-winning folk artist and owner of LaFate Gallery, located at 227 North Market Street in Wilmington, Delaware. This afternoon, I am coming to you about a very passionate organization that I started to volunteer with all the way back to 1989. But before I get to that, YMCA. What does that mean? Young Men's Christian Association was founded all the way back in 1844 in London during the industrial era of turbulence. And George Williams, the founder, wanted to establish a place where young men could meet and pray and adjust to life, to social issues. So that was the founding of the YMCA. Then later, in Boston, Massachusetts, the YMCA was established. Actually, Springfield College, that is my alumni. Springfield College came out of that YMCA process. So the YMCA historically has played a phenomenal role in our country as it relates to addressing social issues. My focus today is on the Walnut Street YMCA, located at 1000 Walnut Street in Wilmington, Delaware, in the heart of the city. And that place was, to me, the most welcoming place when I arrived here to reside in the city. I came here in 1983, and in 85, I started my journey in corporate America with all the miseries of corporate America and all, that corporate America dishes out. Okay, so in 1989, my young son, Jermaine, started attending the after-school care program at the Walnut Street YMCA. And then I started to be a parent volunteer. I volunteered because volunteer is one of the things that is central to my life. I brought that in my DNA coming to America. I brought that. And I've always been a volunteer, still volunteering on boards. Okay, so yes, Jermaine started attending, and they have an exceptionally good after-school program. That Walnut Street YMCA also has a swimming pool. But let me put it in historic perspective. The Walnut Street YMCA was established in 1940. And again, in keeping with the mission of the original YMCA founded in London, the mission was to meet the social needs of young men. And now women. It is now not just young men, women. So that Walnut Street YMCA at Walnut Street in Wilmington, Delaware, that was established in the segregation era. So much so, that YMCA was called the Black Y. And older folks still know it as the Black Y. We have moved on to diversity. But yes, it was the Black Y, because back in the days of segregation, black folks could not go to the other Y, which was called the White Y. Well, now we have moved beyond that. And black folks go to the white Y, and white folks go to the black Y. You know, we have come a long way. But historically, that was the place where civil rights leaders would meet to have their meetings. It was a place, the only place, social place, where black people gained respect and were appreciated. The Walnut Street YMCA. So back to my journey of volunteerism at the Walnut Street YMCA. Now, 1992 was very, very important. By then, I had become a board member. Well, let's back up a little. The YMCA in 1989 established the Black Achievers in Business and Industry. It was initially established at the Harlem Y and adapted here in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. The Black Achievers in Business and Industry program, in which annually corporate America look in their audience of employees and choose employees who are doing a great job in the company as well as in the community. So, in 1990, I was recognized by the company for which I worked, and I received the Black Achievers in Business and Industry Award in 1990. That's the award right there. Beautiful award, and it says Walnut Street YMCA. It was on this 26th of September 1990. Walnut Street YMCA, the Delaware. YMCA of Delaware. Okay, so that was my first big award that I received. I'm going to explain how that award worked. You just didn't get an award. You had to follow up and give back to the community naturally. That award required that the adults who received it would give back by mentoring the youth Black Achievers. So we did just that. And in 1991, while I was in the banking industry, I met a fellow banker, colleague, Dr. J. Macklin, my friend and mentor of 30 years. We met at the Walnut Street YMCA as volunteers. In a moment, I will show you a painting that I did which represents the adult achievers and the youth achievers. Here is the painting. Now, here we have the adult achiever at a podium and a youth achiever around. And every Saturday, we were required to go to the YMCA and to help the youth, to mentor them, to help them to be achievers. And that was a wonderful experience. But that's just the beginning of my volunteer work. In 1992, that was a significant year. Prior to that year, I had given up painting for 8 years, never touched a brush. And I was volunteering. Yes, I was a board member working with the Y, and there was the annual, organizations have to raise money. So there was the annual fundraiser. And Dr. J. Macklin was the chair for the fundraising committee. Naturally, she tapped on me to be a fundraiser team captain. And I said, well, girl, where I'm from, we give, but we don't beg. I don't know how to beg, and I don't have the skills to beg money. And she kept on prodding me. I said, give me time. I will pray about it. And if I get a vision, I'll raise the money. Sure enough, I got a vision. I'd come home one evening from corporate America, stressed out. I was sorting my clothes for washing. And it's as if a voice spoke to me and said, you know the talent you have, which you have not used for 8 years? Why don't you paint again? Then, if you have something tangible to offer, you could raise the money. Wow, that was a message I needed. It was a Friday evening. I went up into my attic and took down my easel paints, brushes, because my late husband, knowing that I'm an artist, had bought me, as part of my wedding present, a whole lot of paints and brushes and the works. So I had not used them for 8 years. So I took down my easel paints, brushes, and this was 8 p.m. I sat up until 2 a.m. painting. Well, the adrenaline came back. The skills, the adrenaline was flowing. I got my art skill back. And I did 4 pieces when I did the first one. Within a month, I painted 17 pieces. So I did the first 4 pieces, took pictures of them, took them back to the Walnut Street YMCA, sent to my fundraiser captain, or president rather, Dr. J. I said, I know how I'm going to raise the money. I started painting again, and I'm going to continue painting and come up with a body of art. We are going to have an auction. I donate my art for an auction, and we can raise the money. This was in April 92. We had an auction, and we sold tickets to the auction. The art didn't sell that much, but we were able to raise $2,000. And $2,000 then, that's a lot of money. So there it was. But the story doesn't end there. You know, I'm a storyteller, and I'm telling the story of Black history, the symbolism and the importance of the Walnut Street YMCA, which was where my Renaissance began. When I moved to the United States, I experienced a Renaissance, started painting again. So, yes, we had the auction. Then that same year, for the Black Achievers Banquet, the guest speaker was Congressman Bill Gray from Pennsylvania. And the board was wondering, oh, what do we give to him? They were going to give him a plaque. You know how the organizations love to give out little plaques? I said, no. I'm going to frame one of my paintings, and we will give him that painting as a gift, which I did. So I framed the painting. And that was in December of 92. And it was at the Holiday Inn. It's now the DoubleTree. I remember quite well. And I went up to the podium to present the painting, and I gave an explanation of the work of art. The piece was titled Life, and later became Life's Dimension. And I presented the painting to Reverend Bill Gray. At the end of the function, a friend of mine from Mellon Bank, her name was Joy, tapped me on the shoulder and said, girl, there is a magazine here. They just saw your painting and they love your folk art. And Joy encouraged me to contact the magazine. I never heard about them before. That was Out and About magazine. So, yes, I was enthusiastic. I contacted them, and they commissioned me to do the cover of their May 1993 magazine. And the rest, they would say, is history. Naturally, on that cover, I painted the YMCA. What else could I put on that cover but the YMCA? Since the YMCA had meant so much to me, I had to paint it on the cover of that magazine. Yes, it was 1993 May. And you know how they love to say, and the rest is history? Well, I have to tell you the rest. Okay, here we go. There is a magazine that I paint, that I was the artist that created that cover. And our current president, then senior senator from the state of Delaware, someone showed him the cover, and he wrote me this beautiful letter. It wasn't a form letter, commending me for that cover. And you know, if you're sharing history, you might as well share the whole thing. So I'm going to read the letter. Dear Eunice, I was looking at the cover of this month's Out and About magazine, and someone pointed out to me that you were the artist responsible for that cover. You have too many talents for me to keep up with, and how lucky we are that you share them so generously and put them to work for the benefit of the community. It's not just a wonderful painting, Eunice. It's a phenomenal expression of the joy, fellowship, and promise of the kind of constructive endeavors for which the Y has always stood. I especially like the sage old sun. That's what he's talking about. I like the sage old sun shining down on the scene. It warms my heart, faith in what we can do together as a community. I am very pleased to have discovered this latest of your good works. And as one of your many admirers, I look forward to your future efforts with great anticipation. Signed, best wishes, Joseph R. Biden Jr., United States Senator. No, this is history. We're talking history. So if you're just joining me, today I am recognizing the Walnut Street YMCA, where I revitalize my artistic talent that had been dormant for 8 years. That's one of the awards I got from the Walnut Street. They even gave me one here, which says, or hero. Yeah, that's what Eunice LaFate, or hero. And that was the Black Achievers Award that I got through my company, through the company that I worked for at the time, in conjunction with the YMCA. So back to the power of the YMCA. The YMCA provides for the social needs of many. If you're just joining me, it goes back to 1844, when George Williams founded the Y in London, and it was intended for spiritual and coping with the industrial times and the traumas of the industrial time, prayer and meditation. That's why it's called Young Men's Christian Association. Today it's more than young men's. It's for children, it's for male, it's for female. And the legacy continues, because here in the city of Wilmington, Delaware, we have two Ys. Remember I mentioned black Y, white Y? That went back to the segregation era. They're not black and white anymore. They service the community. We are grateful that we have passed the segregation era. So the YMCA, the Central YMCA, provides for men. Yeah, they house them there at that facility. And in various cities around the nation, there are YMCAs. And when people are traveling and they want a place to stay, if they have a membership, they can always go to the YMCA. The YMCA has a great place in history, and the Walnut Street YMCA has a great place in my life as an artist and a community volunteer and an advocate. That's why I'm wearing this type of shirt today. I'm wearing this shirt because we're talking about social justice. Yes, the Y has always stood up for social justice. And here's my shirt that I'm wearing in keeping with that, and this shirt says KNOW, no justice, KNOW, peace, no peace. Yes, the YMCA, back in the days, that's where the civil rights leaders, Walnut Street, that's where they met to have their meetings to address racism and all the social issues of those times. And we have come a long way. We want to be grateful. However, we can't forget our history. We have passed the dark chapters of our history, but lest we forget. And if I were to send a message to the charter school in Utah that gave parents an option to opt out their children out of Black History Month education, oh wow, they may hear from me. Well, I think the NAACP already took it up. I was livid when I read it, that parents were being given an opportunity to opt their children out of learning about Black history. Come on. So that means they're promoting racism. Plain and simple. If you don't want your children to learn about Black history inadvertently, you are promoting racism. When children learn about history, they learn about segregation and how we surmounted that and how we have come a long way and how we should live in peace and harmony. And then compared to now and going forward, and they can pass on the information to their children. That's what we should be striving for, not to prevent them from learning. And that is why my exhibition, which I opened last Friday, the title of it is Black History, Diverse Perspectives from the Gold Coast of Africa all the way down to Black Lives Matter movement. Well, no, I skipped a part. So it's the Gold Coast of Africa, the plantation system, the abolition of slavery, the Underground Railroad. I took in all of that and explained it up yesterday. Social justice movement, which started last May. And we did have in 2009 the inauguration of America's first Black president. Yeah. And that's a part of Black history. Right here. These are the pieces I created in relation to that. And that's then Senator Barack Obama in 2008 on the 3rd of February came to a rally at Rodney Square. And this is an iconic piece now. You see that statue? It's no longer there. So any collector who collects this, you're collecting history. Okay, so back to the YMCA if you're just joining me. The subject this morning is recognizing the Walnut Street YMCA located at 1000 Walnut Street in Wilmington, Delaware. If you live in Wilmington and you don't have a membership, go get a membership at the Y. Either that Y or the Central Y. There used to be a gym at the Walnut Street, but they merged the gym into the Central Y. So there's no longer a gym, but there is a pool, a swimming pool. And there are rich activities, summer programs for children. It's a safe haven. So support the YMCA all over the state of this great nation. The YMCA was what made my career revitalize, helped me to experience a renaissance in my art. When I'd laid down the brushes, paints, and canvas for 8 years, never took it up. It was at the Y, volunteering and trying to raise money, thanks to Dr. J. Macklin, who prodded me to be the team captain to raise the money. That's how I started painting again. And I have had a great career. So great that I am so very humbled. My most recent recognition is based on, from the News Journal, Most Influential Delawarean 2020. I am one of them. And I got it, I was recognized in the category of arts and entertainment. Well, that would not have come about had that been for the Y. It is the Y. It's the YMCA that remade my art career. I did bring the career and the skills here, but I put it away for a while. And volunteering at the Y, I was able to revitalize and improve on those skills. Today, I'm sitting in a gallery here at 227 North Market Street in Wilmington, Delaware, with 28 years of inventory of my paintings. It is quite a lot. So having said that, let me go to commercial. Oh yeah, I know my audience love. I got so many compliments over the last few days since I started doing these Black History presentations. I've been getting a lot of applause, and I relish it. However, as a businesswoman, I need those applauses, those likes, and those loves to translate into people purchasing art, because art is wealth. I'm not asking you for a donation. I'm saying, take up the value, put value on art. And the history we are talking about, have something to record that history. I don't throw away anything. When I was coming from Jamaica, I brought a barrel. Yeah, I didn't want to leave my legacies, and I brought a lot. Yeah, I shipped a barrel of my legacy, because, as I said, America didn't make me at all. I came here fully made. I've grown, yes, but I've given back a lot. So, I'm getting now ready for commercial. And let me take the same piece about the Y and let me show you the relevance of it. There's a baseball field on the painting. Let me explain that baseball field. Yeah, you see the children, you see the letter Y. This is the Black Achievers. That's corporate America that gives sponsorship to Black Achievers, children playing. And here we have a baseball field. Why? Okay, I'll tell you in a moment. In 2004, for the Black Achievers Banquet, we always have great speakers coming in. That one was very unique. Instead of having one speaker, the Walnut Street YMCA organized it and invited 3 speakers, and they formed a round table. Okay, here we go. That's history again. 3 speakers spoke, sitting at their table, round table discussion, and they were legendary. Or they 2 still are. We lost the dear Hank Aaron a few weeks ago. He was there. And they left some great messages. In the middle is Willie Mays. And talking about the Y, Willie Mays grew up in the Y in Harlem. Yes, he was one of those men that grew up in the YMCA in Harlem. Yeah, and that's Sammy Sosa right there. So that year, when they came to speak, again, I was on the board. And it's always difficult to find gifts to give to our speakers. And being an artist, I don't love to see plaques. I don't love to see those little plaques. They don't say much. I love tangible gifts. If I'm giving a gift, that gift must have a lasting value, not a little piece of paper in a little, frame. So we made limited edition prints. This was a cover of the program that year. The YMCA asked me to allow them to use the art for the cover, which I did. And I suggested to them, let's make some limited edition prints. So we made the prints, we framed 3, and I presented to those legendary baseball players. And if you look at my page today, you will see a photograph of me sitting with 2 other women, and we were surrounded by these 3 legendary baseball players. Sammy Sosa, Willie Mays, and the late Hank Aaron. So when you purchase this work of art, you are purchasing a legacy right there. So that is the original painting right here. In case you're interested, that's the original painting. And below is a framed giclée. Now, giclée is a method of separating colors that almost identically represent the original. So there goes the original, there goes the giclée, and look how close they are. This one is beautifully framed. Nice gold frame, where they are back in the days, all my paintings, it cost me an arm and a leg, but I loved gold frames. Yeah. So you can purchase these. If you are in the city of Wilmington, Delaware, come on down to 227 North Market Street in Wilmington. Yes, if you're not, then go online. I have them online. Let me give you my online address. I did put it on the screen, by the way. To purchase limited edition print of this iconic painting and others, go to www.lafategallery.com. I do have note cards of it as well. Or you can come to the gallery to make your purchases. It is worth knowing your history, sharing that with children, and also keeping souvenirs. History is not just about talk. What if the great historians didn't put out any replicas out there, didn't put pictures? How would we know about history? Same here. Then I provide works of art here to celebrate our Black history. So I'm encouraging you to be a patron, to purchase art. Art is more than beauty on the wall. Art is wealth. And that's the exhibition which I opened. And it continues through the end of February. Oh, here's a trivia. Name these 4 people and you win a prize. To win the prize, go to my website, www.lafategallery.com, and name them 1 to 4 from top to bottom. There are 2 on top, and who are they? They are related to Black history. You will win a prize. For LaFate limited edition print. So go there now to my website and name them. Can you guess who they are? They're all related to Black history. And there is, well, I'm not going to give any clues. I was going to give out a clue that would have named that one to the bottom far right, but I'm not giving you any clues. You have to name it on your own. So, that's it. The YMCA. The YMCA has been a hub. The Walnut Street YMCA in the segregation era in Wilmington, Delaware, was the hub of our city. It was a refuge place for people going through the agonies of the segregation movement, going to a place where they could feel like they were a part, that they belonged, that they were welcome and appreciated. So today, as a day in Black history, I salute the Walnut Street YMCA. Get your membership. It is the Walnut Street YMCA is located at 1000 North Walnut Street in Wilmington, Delaware. They have great programs for children. The summer is coming up. Get your children there. Get your children in the programs. The after-school programs, the daycare programs, the various programs. And we're in the COVID era, but I know they have all the controls in place. So I want to thank you for watching this video. And I am so delighted to share with you my relationship with the YMCA. Goes back all the way to 1989. And I encourage people to volunteer. Volunteer for boards out there. Don't be selfish. Give back to the community. Volunteer. Give your time. Give your money. Support worthy causes. Be safe. Thank you. It's Black History Month. Talk to your children. I'm going to be doing storytelling this Saturday. Yeah, because the children need to hear the stories of their heritage. Yeah, I'm a storyteller. So I'll be doing storytelling this Saturday morning. Get your children gathered around. I normally go live around 10:30, 11. Saturday morning live this Saturday will be Black History Month storytelling. Be prepared for that. Prepare your children. Thank you for watching.